All right, hello everyone. So this is going to be the start of the weekend dump. And I mean dump as in I'm going to drop a lot of stuff on y'all that a lot of people have been asking for because now is the time to do it. So anyway, so we're going to continue on a few different musical journeys, I would say, that y'all have gotten me into. Y'all got me into it, so I'm going to share it with y'all. So y'all ready? It's Sabaton! Sabaton. Night Witches. I believe this is the animated video. Let's check it out, shall we? Let's get another history lesson. Let's go.
The Germans are resting behind the lines of the Eastern Front, their tents in neat rows. All is in order in the quiet and still of the night. It's cold, and the winter snow crunches under the jackboot of a guard. Looking up into the sky, the snow starts to drift down. It's peaceful here. Was that a noise from the sky? No, it's just the wind. Suddenly, piercing the still of the night, there's an otherworldly scream and a whoosh as a dark form speeds by. And was that a woman's laughter in the distance? There are no engine sounds, and the suddenly fearful German soldier loses his footing and whispers under his breath, "Die Nachthexen." The world is all at once a bloom of fire and ash, and two more dark forms pass without a sound. Hearing the whooping and celebration of these supernatural creatures, the guard shakes himself from his fear and calls out, "Die Nachthexen! Die Nachthexen! The Night Witches!" In the sky above, three planes of the soon-to-be famous 588th Night Bomber Regiment, their engines now running, turn east for home. Time to rearm and refuel for another mission. Coming into land, they're greeted by their commissar, Yevdokia Rashkevich. The young girls that form the pilots and navigators are between the ages of 17 and 26. They are desperate to take the fight to the Germans and have traveled from all over Russia to join the all-women regiments. The 588th is where the least skilled of all the women are placed, but that didn't stop them from carving their name in history. In the early
And we are back. All right, let's continue.
days, they were largely ridiculed by the Soviet men. Given men's uniforms that were too big and shoes all of the same size, the women did the best they could with the clothes, making them fit with belts or filling the large men's shoes with stuffing. The equipment they were given was woefully out of date. The Polikarpov Po-2 was a two-man trainer, underpowered and made of cloth and wood. These old string bags were nicknamed crop dusters, or even worse, sewing machines due to the noise their tiny engines made. But the women of the 588 ignored the taunts, and despite the odds, turned the plane's shortcomings to their advantage. The planes at maximum speeds were far below the stall speeds of any of the German fighters. Giving them a tight turning circle, they were almost impossible to hit. They were susceptible to small arms fire and anti-aircraft guns, so their strategy was to attack in threes, with a navigator in each plane. At her signal, the pilot would cut the engines and swoop in slowly, silently, dropping their bombs, dealing death from above. Unexpected, undetected, stealth perfected. If necessary, the other two would draw fire from the fighters or from the ground. They slept during the day and rose at dusk to take their vengeance on the invaders. This unnatural bravery and their stealth tactics earned them their title, the Night Witches. The German ace Johannes Steinhoff said, "We simply couldn't grasp that the Soviet airmen that caused us the greatest trouble were in fact women. These women feared nothing."
Then again, Russian. Very much Russian. I can't see. Yeah, that's like it's like a cultural thing. You know, there was what was her name? Oktoberskaya, who was the tank commander, who like purchased her own tank to go get revenge on the Germans. um, Excuse me. She bought her own tank from, basically from Stalin himself. And then she participated in the war. But yeah, I think it's like a Russian cultural thing that they got some badass bees, if you know what I'm saying. Oh no, I think I'm having a stroke. Oh no, I'm not. Oh, maybe it's just maybe I'm about to have a stroke. Well, anyway, it'd be glorious to have one while watching a video about the night witches. It would only be offending, wouldn't it? Anyway, so yeah, I think it's like a Russian cultural thing. I think. But what do y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. I gotta pause it here and also like bring attention to the fact that for their time, doing night raids was damn near miraculous. Damn near miraculous to do night raids at all, because flying at night was incredibly dangerous. It's not like today where it's like where aircraft could go way up high in the sky and then you could see like cities freaking, hundreds of miles away, sometimes thousands of miles away, depending on atmospheric conditions, and you're in a jet like cruising like way above. Like these planes and stuff could only make it like a certain elevation. And even then, unless there were cities nearby or lights nearby, or there was light to guide you flying at night, you had to basically rely on like just a compass. A compass, right? And then a map. That's all you had. Or basically all you had. So if you didn't, if you weren't able to figure out, if you weren't able to get your bearings, and especially if it was super dark outside, like trees can sneak up on you real quick. So like, like think about that. Think about that. Or like death rolls. Death rolls are a thing. A death roll is like where you're accidentally tilting your plane and then suddenly you hit ground and it's nighttime. I've heard of that happening a few times. So yeah, there's all this danger that these women are subjecting themselves to doing night raids. And boy, oh boy, I mean, the fact they got a nickname tells you just how effective of a fighting force they are. But then again, they are exception to the rule, and some people are going to know what I mean about that. Let's keep going.
Suddenly appears confirming on the fist. Straight from where she's there. Talking pound from around, that old sound from the battleground. She's aiming high. Bloody now waits to beat them at the gates. Live to fight and fly. Canvas, wings of death, prepare to meet your fate. Night bomber regiment, 388. Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, tell the story. Deviation, undetected, still perfected.
Just imagine what their attrition rate was. It had to be spectacular. It had to be spectacular. Even with all the disadvantages turned advantages, you got to imagine, like, they must have had a crazy attrition rate.
Undetected, unexpected, wings of glory, terror story, aviation, deviation, undetected, still perfected, from the depths of Ellie's silence, faster smells, explosive violence, Russian nighttime, quite perfected, flawless vision, undetected.
"32 women, both pilots and navigators, never came home. The 588th became highly decorated and respected, flying more than 23,000 sorties, dropping over 3,000 tons of bombs. 23 night witches were awarded the Hero of the Soviet Union, although they were disbanded just 6 months after the war and not allowed to fly in the victory parade, given their planes were so slow. From 1956, after she retired from active service, their commissar Yevdokia Rashkevich took it upon herself to find the site of every single one of her girls that was downed, to mark the place and to pay her respects to each one of the incredibly brave night witches.
Damn, 23,000 sorties. They only lost 32? That's incredible, actually. So that makes them the exception to the exception of the exception. Bub! Like they damn near did the impossible. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, there you go, folks. There you go. Night Witches by Sabaton and what do you call it? In cahoots. In cahoots with Yarn Hub, I believe it was. There we go. Of course I'm going to like it. It's Sabaton. Of course I'll like it. It's Sabaton. Anyway, there we go. Sabaton Night Witches. Animated story video, and they did it with, I believe it's Yarn Hub. Yeah, at Yarn Hub. At Yarn Hub. There we go, folks. There we go. What did y'all think? What did y'all think? And remember, like, they're flying missions with aircraft where if there is so much as a rip in the wing, they're in trouble. So yeah, and outdated equipment. They probably didn't have all the navigation aids of the most modern planes at the time. So they were probably using maps and compass. 23,000 sorties. Thousands of pounds of explosives dropped. I wonder... Well, anyway. 32 was their casualty count. 32. That's so incredible. And also hard to believe. But so incredible. And I say hard to believe because it's, just 32 out of 23,000 sorties. But that's miraculous. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, y'all know what time it is. You like Sabaton, you like this content, blah, 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 whole spiel. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And then, down below, there's the description box. There's stuff in there. Check it out. We also have merch. It's pretty simple and pretty funny just for the moment. It's like meme merch. Just check it out. Let me know what you think. And then if you want to join the channel, then yeah, description box down below. There's a link there. It says join the channel. And you get request priority if you're in the members section, okay? Now, on top of that, be good. Be safe. Make good life for yourselves. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Badger out.